Very lovely morning to you all, my dear students. So here today I would like to know something more about you. That is, I want to know that which food you like the most. Most of your answers are related to some or the other junk foods, isn't it? You like junk food more than the healthy food, right? Am I right or wrong? If you prove me wrong here, I would be even more than happy. So here I expect that your answer is of healthy food. But I am sure that I would be getting the answers like noodles, Maggie, pasta, and then some other breads kind, sandwich, burger, isn't it? Pizza. So this is your today's trend of eating food, and most of you students like noodles, and even somewhere I even like noodles, to be very honest. So here I would like to tell you that our today's poem is related to noodles only. And first of all, before starting up with the poem, I would like to, make you imagine a scene. So let's imagine the things. Just close your eyes. You have been dropped in a big mug of noodles. So think what would have been your condition in that case. All the noodles would have been spilled over your body, isn't it? So definitely it had changed your outlook. And then next, I would like to ask you, would you like getting that favorite food of yours every time in all the three meals? Would you like that? Would you enjoy that meal in that case? Your favorite meal again in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at the night even. And then again on the very next day, the same food in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Definitely you would be bored of that, isn't it? And somewhere or the other, sometimes you would try to miss that meal, isn't it? So here, I guess the same things had happened in the poem with the person who is there, the main character. So now let's read out today's poem. And here the title of the poem is I have noodles in my nostrils. Let's see whatever I have told you about it happened in the poem or not. Let's read out the poem. I have noodles in my nostrils. I have noodles on my nose. So now what is it saying? It is said here in this poem that the noodles are there in his nostrils. You know the nostrils, the holes of our nose, and then he has noodles all over his nose. There are noodles on my cheeks and my chin and dripping down my clothes. So noodles are there on the cheeks and on the chin even. And then what is the condition? Those are dripping down, spilling down on his clothes. From the chin, from the cheeks onto his clothes. Right? I have got more upon my forehead. Some are sticking to my neck. It's completely disconcerting. I am a noodle covered wreck. So now here you may see in the picture even that a lot more noodles are there on his forehead even, and then some are sticking on his neck even. Nothing is left, in other words, isn't it? No body part is left. So on his cheek, on his chin, on his nose, on his head, forehead, and then again on his neck even. It's completely disconcerting. Disconcerting, what does it mean? It means disturbing. So he is getting disturbed by all the noodles, although that was his favorite food. But still, when it got spilled over him, definitely he was feeling quite disturbed of this. So then he says that he is a noodle covered wreck. He is looking quite stupid in this outlook, right? With what kind of outlook? Covered with noodles all around. I can see them on my kneecaps and I know they are in my shoes. He says that some are even dropped on my kneecaps. What is kneecap? The front side of the knee. That is circle in shape. So that is called kneecaps. So he says that some are even dropped on his kneecaps. And then he says that I know that some are there in my shoes even. Those might have been disturbing him. You know that when something is dropped in the shoes, how does it irritate? And if this is the case of some food, then it had been so sticky, he might have been getting so disturbed, isn't it? So then, when I stand, there are somewhat squishy and I feel them start to ooze. So now he says that whenever he tries to stand up, he feels that those are quite soft and now getting softer. So what would have happened? Definitely those would be mashed, and mashed case of food will again bother him with the irritation. And then he says that some will again, when he would stand up, again some of the noodles which were there on the upper part of his body definitely would spill down on towards the lower part of the body. So definitely he is expecting the same. Whenever he would stand, the same thing will happen to him. So then next stanza, what is there? There are several in my pockets. There's a handful in my hair. So now here he says that some of the noodles are there in his pockets even. Look onto the bad condition he has stuck into, isn't it? There's a handful in his hair even, right? Somewhere he has some noodles in his hair even. And I am pretty sure that some are even in my underwear. Look onto the worst condition that some of them are there in his underwear. And then he is expecting the situation like that. So now he is definitely irritated in such a position because it would have been bothering him. So try not to do what I did. So now with all this irritation, what message he is passing on to the reader? He says that whatever is done by him, by what he has been stuck in such a condition, so he says to the reader that they should not do the same. And what is the condition? What did he do? I am a total nincompoop. What does the meaning of nincompoop? A foolish person in a bad condition, right? So he says that he is a foolish person. He himself admits himself as a stupid person, and then he says that nobody should do this kind of foolishness. Nobody should repeat the same kind of stupidity which he has done. And what he has done? And I fell asleep at lunch. So now look, he fell asleep. He went into his dreams while eating his lunch of noodles. And then definitely, as I told you, that he would have been getting the same thing. He would have been preferring the same thing in his meals. So then he would have been bored of those noodles. So while taking those noodles in his lunch, he might have fallen asleep. So now what he is saying, that nobody should do like this. Nobody should fall asleep while taking lunch, because otherwise the other person even would face the same situation like him. While eating chicken noodle soup. So while he was eating chicken noodle soup, he fell asleep and stuck into such kind of situation. So he is even apologizing, even feeling bad of his condition, of his behavior, what he did. And he even tells to the reader that nobody should do it. So now this poem was by the poet Ken Nesbitt, who is a British poet. Let me just mention you. And here are some word meanings of the poem. Let's discuss it. Let's give a quick look on to the word meanings of this poem. First one was disconcerting. As I have already mentioned, that this word means disturbing, bothering, stressing. So then next one is wreck, a person who is in a bad physical and mental state, right? So then wreck is a person who is not in good condition, not in good mental state. And then kneecaps, the front of the knees are called kneecaps. And the next one is squishy. Squishy is soft and wet, right? Here we read the word squishy. When I stand, they are somewhat squishy. So those are quite soft, and then he was feeling that those would be spoiling again his body. And then what is there? Ooze. Ooze is coming out. By standing, some noodles are coming down. So ooze means come out. And then nincompoop means a silly, foolish or a stupid person. So here were the word meanings of the poem. I hope you must have enjoyed the poem, and I expect you to learn these word meanings by heart, as we have got many good words from this poem. As in squishy, we have got a new word, and then again we have got a new word ooze, and then nincompoop even was quite gracious word to be used in English language. And I suggest you to make usage of these words while speaking. And with this we end up our class. You must have enjoyed the poem, and again I would suggest you to imagine the scene according to you. I mean, whatever favorite food is whatever is your favorite food, kindly imagine yourself in this kind of situation, that the whole food is spilled over your body, and then what would happen, what kind of feelings you would be getting in your mind. I am waiting for your replies, for your responses. Please reply me with your responses, that how would you feel in such kind of situation, and how would you behave, and how would you come out of that situation, right? So let's disperse our class for today. Rest we will continue next. Thank you.